Hi, my name is Cam Smith with Youth Sports Production, coming to you from Jerry Hale Field, home of National Little League in Victoria, BC. Thank you for tuning in. As postseason for Little League Baseball fast approaches, timing couldn't be better for the city to pay tribute to Doug Hudlin, who is affectionately known as the Gentleman's Umpire. The city of Victoria held a ceremony on Higgins Street in honor of this remarkable man, unveiling a commemorative street sign that pays tribute to the legendary local Little League umpire and his contributions to the community.
It is such a thrill for me to be here with so many people from the Hudlin clan. For the last 10 years, actually, since 2014, I've had the pleasure to be here periodically, not every year, but mostly almost every year, to do something to commemorate the extraordinary life of Doug Hudlin. Doug was a long-time City of Victoria employee for 40 years, which is great, and we appreciate all that effort, but really we're here today to remember again the amazing work that he did on his off time when he was a coach and mentor and umpire to thousands of kids who learned how to be leaders through baseball. He's recognized so many different ways throughout North America. He was the only non-American to actually be an umpire in the National Little League World Championships. And he's been honored here in Canada, locally, in the British Columbia Sports Hall of Fame, the Victoria Hall of Fame, the National Baseball Hall of Fame, which is the first time I think that's happened for a Little League person. And so it's just kind of a wonderful compilation of the example of how you can really change lives despite what you might be doing as, quote, a job, because all of us have the ability to have such a huge impact and influence, particularly on the young people who are our future.
On behalf of my family, I would like to thank the City of Victoria for this huge honor. Doug Hudlin was one of the patriarchs of our family and a proud City of Victoria career worker. Doug was an exceptional baseball umpire. He was a friend to everyone at work, on the ball diamond, and greeting his neighbors. He set an example for all of his descendants, which we promise we will try and emulate. Thanks once again, everybody. It is amazing. I love it.
Fittingly, Doug Hudlin Way runs adjacent to National Little League, where Hudlin spent many of his years umpiring young ball players.
It's an honor that I get to drive on that street. It's an honor that I've looked forward to. It's 2 years in the making, and so it is now today coming true, and so I'm honored. But so is the City of Victoria to drive on that street, and the black community. Like my great-great-grandparents are the first black people here, the Alexanders. So there's the Hudlins, there's the Barneswell, there's the Woods, there's the Mitchells. On it goes, and of course now the family is hugely grown.
Doug Hudlin was a pioneer and game changer on and off the field, even when color barriers stood in his way. It was extremely challenging to play baseball in a predominantly white sport, so in 1939 he made a decision to try and change baseball in Victoria from white to multicultural by creating the Brown Bombers, an all-black baseball team who just wanted to play ball.
Doug met a woman and was wanting to marry her, and her parents would not allow it. And they waited until her parents passed for them to be able to get married. He stayed devoted to her, and when I heard that story on their 70th wedding anniversary, I was so amazed how that happened.
For us, part of it is about celebrating the fact that, Doug was a 40-year city employee and all of the contributions he made through his work. But really kind of more impactful is the fact that he spent all of the rest of his time being such an important influence as a mentor and coach and umpire for kids who were not just playing baseball, but were really learning how to be great citizens. They learned a lot of leadership from Doug. They learned about, playing in teams. They learned about their own self-esteem and what the possibilities were for them as they grew up. And so that kind of a contribution is really rare. And for the last 10 years, actually, it's been my honor, and privilege to be working with Barb and the Hudlin family trying to just sort of think of a variety of different ways to recognize and honor that, so that people who aren't necessarily involved with baseball kind of get a sense of what that capacity is and that potential and that contribution. And so over the last 10 years, we've done some smaller things, we've done proclamations, and we've done some temporary banners, and I think a year or two ago we did a sort of a permanent storyboard on the back of the bleachers. But this year we wanted to do something that was going to be permanent and would sort of attract attention outside the ballpark. And so the installation of these 3 signs really will allow anybody who takes Higgins either as a shortcut or as their way to and from home to be able to glance at something and go, well, what's that? And then be able to go across the field and see the story that's behind it. And so that kind of combination of getting the notice of people who may not otherwise have that chance, and then giving them the opportunity to hear the story of Doug is just really, really important. Having a permanent gesture like this, a permanent medallion almost, that's sitting above a street sign. You always look at a street sign. Where am I going? How do I find a particular place? And so now you've got a street sign, but attached to it, you have something that's going to attract your attention and sort of arouse your curiosity in the sense of, well, why is it that Higgins Street also has this other sign that says Doug Hudlin on it? And that, again, is going to sort of point you towards learning that story and learning the lessons from the story. That goes back to your first question, because it's really about the lessons of Doug's life, which is very much an inspiration, not just to kids who are interested in baseball, but to everybody to be able to see what you can do, not just through your career, but through the rest of your life with your career. And, he's had so many honors that, we've talked about before, but this is kind of a unique one because it's local, but it's really going to give people a chance to, maybe not just they live here, but they come by here, they come here for the ball team, they come here because there's traffic, they come here for all the different reasons, and it gives them a chance to see something they didn't expect, and that it's just kind of really cool.
I think for Doug, he would be, in his heart, he would be happy to see how everything has grown and developed from the Brown Bombers to this day. And there's a lot. He changed baseball from white to multicultural. So all children play baseball now here in the city of Victoria, where at one point they didn't. He's called the gentleman umpire in this city, and he is a one of a kind. When I started giving out the Doug Hudlin Award and kids started to Google him and stuff, we have more kids wanting to umpire in the ballparks now than we've ever had. And that is amazing. And it's also amazing when I give out an award to an umpire. I gave an award to an umpire named Wyatt, and he had learned all about Doug. So when I presented it to him, he was very happy because he knew all about Doug. And so that makes my heart feel good, and what a blessing that is. For the youth of today, when they learn about Doug, it shows them that they can make changes in their lives. Always take that step and do it. Don't ever think that you can't accomplish something, because you can. I love baseball. I was raised in a ballpark. My dad umpired for Stuffy McGinnis League, and Doug did Little League. So I don't know really any other sport, right? It is in my blood. And so I love to see how the youth grow. And that's why I give an umpire's award out every year in the parks, is for them to be honored and to know that they are accomplishing something. And I'm very happy for that. I do love baseball. You can't imagine how it is when you see a child grow from a blast baller to a majors. It's amazing.
The legacy that Doug Hudlin left behind comes straight from the heart and will last for generations to come. Doug wanted to make a difference, challenge others in a positive way, and create opportunities for everyone to get involved in the sport he loved. Let's get out in the community and support upcoming Little League tournaments. My name is Cam Smith with Youth Sports Production. Thank you for tuning in. See you on the field.